Before we formally start our lesson, first, we will have our motivational activity. You will show your own understanding of the chosen word on the word cloud show. Your answer should be written on the comment section of the specific Facebook post given by his teacher. For now, I will give you 30 seconds to choose your word.
A lot of educators believes that teaching and learning process on technology is dependent on how the person get or assess the knowledge. Eventually, educators need to have further observation to know who is the learner and how to deliver the learning to the people. Educators has an obligation to express and share knowledge with experiences on students. So in today's lesson, we will discuss about the different theories and learning principles like Dale's cones of experiences and TPAC framework model. The cone of experience was developed by Edgar Dale. Dale's theories stem from the proposition that learners retain more information when they do rather what they hear, read, or observation. These findings are also referred as experiential learning or action learning.
The bands in Dale's cone of experience. Direct for purposeful experience, it refers to the foundation of experiencing learning with the use of senses, meaningful knowledge, and understanding established. Count-lived experience, it is a category that represent models, miniatures, mock-ups that are used. Dramatized experience, these are commonly used as activities that allow students to actively participate in reconstructed experience through role-playing or dramatization. Demonstration, when one decides to show things are done. A demonstration is the most appropriate experience. Study tips, these are actual visits to certain locations to observe a situation or a case which may not be available inside the classroom. Exhibits, these are displays of models such as pictures, artifacts, posters, among other that provided messages or information. Television and motion pictures, these are technology equipments provided a two-dimensional reconstruction of reality. Still pictures, recording, and radio still are pictures or images together in this category are the audio recorded materials and information broadcast through the radio. Visual symbols, these are more abstract representation of the concept or the information that use graph or chart or flow charts. Verbal symbols, this is a category that appears to be the most abstract because they may not exactly look like the concept or object that represents, but symbols, words, codes, or formulae. We also have Brunner's three-tier models. First, the inactive. It have a series of action. Second, iconic. It is a combination of illustration or icons. Third is the symbolic. It is a series of symbols. Young learners should start from inactive to iconic, and the last step is symbolic.
Did you know that if you read a great book, after 2 weeks of reading the book, you will only retain 10% of what you read? According to the cone of learning or cone of experience, which was developed by American educator Edgar Dale, we retain 10% of what we read after 2 weeks of reading it. This explains why I struggled in school, because the predominant teaching method in school is reading, and you only retain 10% of what you read. If you listen to a great audiobook, or you listen to your lecturer or your teacher giving you a lecture on your subject, according to the cone of learning, you will retain 20% of what you listen to. And if you see a visual presentation, you have 30% retention rate. And if you hear and see something as you would in a discussion group or a community, you increase your retention rate up to 50%. If you say or do the thing that you learned, you will increase your retention rate up to 70%. If you say the lesson you learned or you do the skill you learned, and you also teach other people the skill you learned, you will increase your retention rate up to 90%. I did this at university unknowingly. Naturally, I'm a very active person and I hate sitting still or I hate being quiet. So every time I learned something new in my lectures or labs, I would go around talking to the people, discussing or sharing what I learned, and as a result I increased my retention rate, and I graduated with a first-class degree in computer networks and security. So if you want to increase your retention rate about a skill or information, make sure you say and do the thing, and you also try to teach others. This was The Cone of Learning by Edgar Dale, and if you like the ideas discussed in the video,
In preparing to become a teacher, there are elements that should be taken into consideration. One way of putting it is the 8 M's of teaching, and each element contributes to ensuring effective instruction. The 8 M's of teaching. Milieu, the learning environment. Matter, the contents of learning. Method, teaching and learning activities. Material, the resources of learning. Media, the communication system. Motivation, arousing and sustaining interest in learning. Mastery, internalization of learning. Measurement, evidence that learning took place.
The cone of experiences is a visual models that represent a good example to deliver learning. Using a device such as pictorials that play a big part to present bunch of experiences. For example, viewing a play for different from being part of it. It is different listening to somebody explaining that an architectural design from actual executing the plan. The Dale Cone of Experiences version is a percentage representation in every level to show the lowest and the highest order thinking skills on how engage learners, but it's somehow reducing the cost, materials and activities that is belong to upper level of the cone means active tangible for all the descriptive categories of learning experiences and other elements such as student motivation to engage and learn how to factor in as well.
What is TPAC? A framework that combines the teacher's 3 knowledge, which is the technological knowledge, content knowledge, and pedagogical knowledge. Technological knowledge. This is the teacher's knowledge on how to select, use, and integrate these tools in teaching and learning content. Lastly, pedagogical knowledge. This new export knowledge in the science of teaching from educational and learning theories to individual difference to strategies as well as assessments of learning. Technology content knowledge, or TCK. This is the intersection when technology is used in a specific area to enrich student understanding of content. Technology pedagogical knowledge, or TPK, is knowing how to select, use, or develop technology to monitor student learning.
In discussions of learning technologies, you may have heard the acronym TPCK or TPAC. TPAC stands for Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge. So to understand what this is, we first need to draw a few circles. Let's start with a green circle and call this technology. Technology represents technical knowledge, so the ability to use software, the ability to use a computer, and so forth. There are other domains of knowledge as well, like for instance, content knowledge. So put a C for content knowledge. This includes, if you're a high school language arts teacher, language arts, this includes science, social studies, and so forth. So what you as a teacher are trying to convey to your students. And also working off Schulman's idea, there's an idea of pedagogical knowledge as well. So this is how to teach. So for instance, though you may be an expert in quantum physics, you may not know how to teach quantum physics. Or if you're an expert in Shakespeare, you may not know how to teach Shakespeare. Similarly, is a subdomain of knowledge called PCK, which is where pedagogical knowledge of a subject and content knowledge meet to allow you to effectively teach that specific content knowledge. Similarly, the authors of TPAC propose that there are other subdomains as well, like for instance, the technological content knowledge area, in which you know the technology and how it relates to your content knowledge. So again, if you teach social studies, you know how to use technology to support your research in that field or your study of that field. Similarly, there's technological pedagogical knowledge, in which you know how to use technology to support teaching. Now, the whole idea of TPAC is to get at something that we've failed at getting at in learning technologies for many years. That's the central idea here. This is how all three of these technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge work together in a very complicated way to support good teaching. Now, TPAC has been under some attack because it does propose to be the entire package or the full view of technological integration. And part of the response that TPAC authors have come up for in defending TPAC have been to put a dotted circle around everything that they say is context. So if you're in an elementary school, for instance, the way TPAC looks would be very different than if you were in higher education. If you were in the corporate sector, this might be very different as well. So ultimately, though, TPAC tries to get at understanding how these three domains of knowledge interact with one another, and creating subdomains that are essential to understand to support effective technological integration.
SAMR. In addition with the two model, Dale Cone of Experience and TPAC model, we also have SAMR. SAMR is a model that was designed to help an educator to infuse technology and learning process. This model is developed by Dr. Robin Puentedera. It is a model to support and enables teachers to design, develop, and infuse digital learning and experience that utilize technology. S stands for substitution. Is literally using technology as an alternate for the regular items that is employed in argumenting or assisting instruction. Instead of using real models such as group and maps, we can use Google Map or Google Earth as a substitute that can help to have a better access. A stands for augmentation. In this part, the function and improvement of technology integrate is visible. For example, in Google Maps, since it is designed to access bigger areas, students can use different features available such as measuring the distance of a place to another. M stands for modification. In this level, this technology is used to redesign a lesson. When studying a geography, for example, Google have Panorama. Using this, you can guide to start showing and uploading their own pictures of places. R is the representation of idea in creating something from the regular item. This is the redefinition. Technology allows the creation of a new concept that has not been previously conceptualized. So with the ready pictures uploaded in Panorama, students can probably write the script for a guide tour using the availability materials using Google Earth.
Benjamin Bloom's is known as educationist who provided the cognitive taxonomy which has greatly been used in education. His student Anderson and Crossbill made some revision. This is the reverse Bloom's taxonomy. The original Bloom's digital taxonomy is composed of knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The revised Bloom's digital taxonomy is composed of remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating.
For the application, using your book Technology for Teaching and Learning 1, reflect on your experience and reality arrangement code of experience and answer the question number 1 on page 122. The teacher will divide the class by group with 3 members. through a TikTok video, discuss your answer, and only one will discuss the answer of the group that will be sent by a representative each group of the messenger of the one of the facilitators.